And that guy, my friend name is Matthew Goodman. Say hello.
What's up?
Okay, what is all the news with this Kobe thing?
Today is Kobe Bryant's birthday. He would have been 42 years old today.
Yes.
And then tomorrow's 8/24, which were the two numbers he wore.
Yep. Respect to Kobe.
Respect. Very good basketball player.
Very good basketball player. 5-time NBA champion. I think he's like, what, 4th all-time leading scorer? A very good basketball player.
That's
Played for
very
20
good
years.
now, you know.
Top 5 player of all
Yes,
time.
for sure. So do either of y'all want to like share a moment, like a impactful moment that Kobe had in y'all's lives?
Yeah.
Will, if you have something, you can go. But
Okay. I have one. And you know, my favorite thing is that three-pointers by Kobe.
The three-pointers?
Three-pointers, if we got a game. When it's serious and that three-pointers, I go hype.
You go hype.
Woo! Three-pointers.
Everyone goes hype, my boy.
I don't know, my boy.
And
I have a few
in the-
stories.
Okay.
But I don't want to like dominate the call. You know what I mean?
No, you can go ahead.
So I think the first NBA game I ever went to, it was a New Orleans Hornets game. Like whenever they still had Chris Paul, like way back when, and they were playing the Lakers, and like so I got picked for this thing where I got to go on the court like at the second timeout. But the cool thing was like we got to like stand in the tunnel and kind of be like on like court level and like watch the players warm up and stuff. And so it was crazy because like this is like little like I don't know like 8 or 9-year-old me, and there's Kobe, like seeing Kobe Bryant even though he was far away, like seeing like how tall the players were and just like all of that. I was just like amazed. It's just cool. And like I got to like see him like not just like from the stands but like in the tunnel, and he was like close and that was really cool.
I have something to kind of say with that. This is a little bit off topic, but I went to a Saints game, and I was on the field like before the game for something, and it was against the Patriots a few years ago, and they lost, of course. But I got to see like Rob Gronkowski and Bill Belichick and Tom Brady, and they were like feet away from me, and I was like, oh my gosh, like I understand the feeling. I was like, oh my god, like that's them, you know. And so that's just like a crazy thing to see someone like that famous and that dominant of a person. I kind of understand
like,
that.
Someone who's at like the top of their craft and like is like world, everyone, like so many people know them and they're like a legend and an icon, and just like being able to like I don't know, actually like see them in person and not just like on TV or like from far away in the stands. It's just weird. Will, did I interrupt you, my boy? You were talking and then I told my story.
Oh, great.
I say yeah.
What were you gonna say, Will?
I say is, you know, when I go to a really good basketball game, we sit, what's it called? We'll go into this New Orleans basketball game. It's very good, but it's not on the coffee. But when I go into a road trip for the boys on the games, and the Lakers, okay, we are going about it. And we are gonna just scream Kobe's name, and we're gonna just go in the call, and it says V-Ballers! And we do that every time. Like in the call, like that's in like 10 years.
In 10 years we're gonna do that, boy?
No, 10 plus years we do that. Long time. This is in like 4 past years, we are the screaming that more time, and this we are kids, and we see a Lakers game, and we go to a different team. Maybe that's Kobe. We are going to see that 3 points.
That's awesome, my boy.
I'm on that day.
I have something that Kobe kind of impacted me with. I found this like interview from him. This was maybe about a year and a half ago or so, and he was being interviewed by Stephen A. Smith in like 2004, 2005 maybe, And this was like right after Shaq left the Lakers, and he was going through a lot of stuff personally. Like he had all these like accusations against him. Everyone was hating Kobe because they thought like he drove Shaq out of town and stuff. And there was a lot of slander that was going along with Kobe at that time. And he was doing this interview with Stephen A. Smith. And I don't know if any of y'all know this, but Kobe Bryant was like a very devout Catholic. And he said that something that really struck out to me. He said that you don't know how great God is until like you can't be great, and God has to be great for you, and he carries you like through whatever you're going through. And so that must have been like an impossible time for Kobe to go through. And but he just put all of his faith and all of his reliance on God. And so that's something that has kind of stuck out to me, that I try to do in my life whenever hard times come. That was pretty inspirational to me.
Yeah, that's pretty inspirational right there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that about him.
Yeah. He for his funeral, the one that they did at Staples Center, it was like somewhat of a Catholic service, because like I think, what's that guy's name? Jimmy Kimmel, was that the one that did this? He like emceed it or whatever. He
I
was
don't
like he kind of like ran his funeral, and he knew Kobe, and he was Catholic also, and so they did like a few things like in the ceremony for that. So that kind of stuck out to me. But the other thing I wanted to share was like what I was doing whenever I found out Kobe died. I was on my way to my senior retreat, and so I was on the school bus with like a third of my grade, because there's like 3 school buses, and so we were going, and then sitting next to my friend Tucker, and we were just joking around because I have the Bleacher Report app and he has ESPN, and I was like, Bleacher Report's the best, like whatever. Like we were just like joking around with that. And so then we were talking, Mom sent me a text and said, have you checked your Bleacher Report? And I was like, see, my mom even knows about Bleacher Report. And then I was like, no, why? And we were kind of like a little bit out of cell range, so I couldn't like really look things up because we were going out like to this retreat center. And then she was like, Kobe Bryant died. I was like, what? And I didn't think it was real. And so then Tucker like looked it up. He still had service, and he was like, yeah, it's real. And I was like, what? Like this is, I didn't think it was real for the longest time. And I was like, wow, this has actually happened. Like he's actually gone. Because I think it was like ESPN. He showed me like the tweet from ESPN or something. I was like, wow, this is like, I'm gonna remember this day for the rest of my life. And so that was just an insane time for me. Yeah, I just was shocked, because at first I thought that his whole family was on the helicopter, and it was just it was him and Gigi, and then the Altobelli family were the other people that were involved in the accident. And so I went through like that whole day and the next day thinking that it was his whole family, because like no one else got all the information until later. And so that was a pretty big time. That I remember all that very vividly.
Yeah, I remember. I think it was a Sunday.
Yeah.
I think, and I remember I was just on my phone scrolling through Instagram, and it said, "Oh, Kobe Bryant dead in helicopter crash," and I didn't think it was real. Like I thought it was a joke or like a prank or something like that.
Right.
And then I looked it up, and it was real, and I was like, "No way!" Like,
Mm-hmm.
like I didn't believe it. I didn't want to believe it at all.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I just felt awful that whole day.
Yeah.
Like
yeah, it was bad. Like
It's pretty sad.
Yeah,
it was really sad. For me, I thought like you said, like I thought someone was playing a prank, but whenever it kept saying like Kobe, they kept referring to his scoring record, because I was watching that game the night before. LeBron James, as a Laker, broke
he
Kobe
broke
Bryant's all-time record in Philadelphia, which was his hometown. And so they kept referring to that, and I was like, that just happened. I just saw the tweet from him that said like he
like congrats to LeBron.
Congrats.
And
Yeah,
like
that's
that.
like his last post. And so like just seeing that, it didn't seem real to me. And even now, like today, it would be his 42nd birthday. And so to put that in perspective, like Tom Brady's 43 and he's still playing in the NFL. And so it's like that's how young Kobe Bryant was. And I just
Sad.
That gets to me. Yeah.
Yeah. Sad moment.
Sad moment.
Yeah.
But he put a lot of good into the world. I think that's what you have to get out of it.
Yeah. Mamba mentality.
Mamba mentality.
Never backing down, always like doing what you know is right, things like that. Like just his competitive spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was never the biggest Kobe Bryant fan because I was a Celtics fan. And so whenever they had those two finals, like where they played in 2008 and 2010, I was not a fan of Kobe Bryant. I was cheering against him. And I don't know, even then it was still just like, I had the utmost respect for him as a basketball player, as a person. And I remember watching his final game where he had 60 and I was like in awe. I was just like, wow, that's a legend right there. And I don't know, it really, I was surprised how hard it hit me whenever he died, because like I was never like the hugest fan. I wasn't anyone that you'd think like, I don't know, but it hurt.
Yeah, it definitely, like the whole bus, even people like, so some of the girls didn't even like know who he was, and like everyone, the bus driver, even the bus driver was listening to radio in his headphones, and he was driving, and then he just kind of stopped, and then he took his headphone out and he goes, "Guys, y'all know Kobe died?" And this was like after everyone had found out. He just like wasn't listening, and he was like, he just put his head down. Like I thought he was about to wreck or something. He just was like. But he had to like keep driving. He was like, I can't believe this. And he was an older guy. He was probably in his like 60s, and like that's the impact that he had on so many different people. And like another thing, you know the movie Daddy's Home with Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg?
yes.
He's in that movie, and like they did it at the Pelicans game. Like he was like Los Angeles was there, and they like made a joke about like how Mark Wahlberg like knew Kobe Bryant or whatever, like he trained with him or something. Yeah. And like even in that movie, he's just like a genuine guy, and because he was playing himself, and it was these kids like came up to him and he just like introduced himself to them and stuff, and so that's how he was in real life. I've seen so many things with him, and I understand what you're saying too. Like I wasn't the biggest fan of him, but now I can see the impact that he had in this world, and so
yeah.
It really sticks with me. Very true.
Like this.
Yeah.
And also like it goes out, but it goes like left.
Yep.
Yeah.
And also like a boom left. And it goes nowhere. And when I say when it goes nowhere, you're in a not good spot. And that's called death.
Yep.
And death is not a good thing.
Do you have Sorry. Do you have anything else to say, Will? Like
maybe good of death, component is the it's really good person. Because in a couple of years like is basketball years like in 2016 and 2015 and 2014 is like a guy wanted to try something new. Like it's called a basketball life. May dies who a lot of news. SBN news. Monday is like false news. Monday is about like
it was everywhere.
Yeah, it was everywhere.
Yes. Monday is about fake news, and Monday is like real news. I didn't know what news is like telling the truth. So, yes.
Yeah, it was hard to believe at first. You thought it might be fake news or something like that's what I thought, and so I didn't believe it for a while, and then I don't know, I saw it everywhere, and I was like, dang, it's real, but like I didn't want to like accept it at all or anything, just because. Like I don't know, he was someone that I pictured as like invincible. Like he was the guy who he shot his free throws on his torn Achilles.
Yeah,
you know, he played through so many injuries, like
holding the trophy with his like broken finger and everything.
Yeah, and towards the end of his career, especially whenever like you could tell, like he was definitely
just covered in ice packs on the sideline.
On the bench. Yeah, like always just gave it his all and was like, you know, he would put aside like all the pain and stuff he was going through just to like do it for his team. And that's something that you really I really respected about him, was that you know, he always gave it like his best effort, and he would do anything for his team. And like, especially at the end of his career, whenever all the injuries and stuff were like building up, and you could tell like he was
on a bad team too.
Yeah.
Like, he still gave it his all. Never like requested a trade or anything. He just stuck with it.
Like his team never had a shot at making the playoffs in his last few years, but you know, he would always still go out there and do what his coaches asked of him and like give it his best shot.
Yeah. And like one thing I think might be the biggest testament to who he is, whenever at his funeral speech, whenever Michael Jordan got up there and spoke, of how big of impact Kobe had on him. And because Kobe's childhood idol was MJ. And MJ was joking about he's gonna have to look into the crying meme for the next few years and stuff because he was choked up. But that is just insane to me, that the guy that Kobe looked up to, that the impact was felt both ways, that he was able to impact him in that same way. So I think that was one of the biggest testaments to who he was and what he did.
Yeah.
Yep.
For sure. I mean, it's just crazy that he had like that much impact on people, especially the person that he looked up to.
Yeah.
But that's the type of person he was.
Right.
Really good person.
Yep, really good person. So, do y'all have anything else that you want to say, or you're ready to end it?
I mean, rest in peace, Kobe. Rest in peace, Gigi. And our thoughts and prayers still go out to their families that are still trying to deal with this, and to everyone else in the helicopter crash who died too. Like, but I don't know, just trying to remember him and like the person he was and how he impacted, you know, the world. Like that's something you can look up to and hope that like whenever it's our time to leave this earth, that we can leave that sort of similar impact and impact people in that same way.
And I think like one other thing I'd add is it's so hard for us as fans to kind of go through that and mourn that, but like we'd never even met him.
Right.
Like the people on this call right now, like never even met him and talked to him. And that's how big of an impact he had on us. I can't imagine the pain that his family goes through and the people closest to him. And so my heart really goes out to them going through this, especially I know today is a very tough day for them. And just seeing him and what people talking about him and stuff, that has to be painful going through that. So my prayers are with them right now.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Sad.
Sad.
Oh,
yeah.
no. It's a lot of really of like what's the African love, word for good love, but it's the word of good love is in my head. So this word of good love for now, it is something quick, something moved. So when the word of good love of a planet, it's quick and move because it loves to more fast. It's quick. When he has really good brain, really good art, you have a really good person. May you copy dies rule. Do not listen to that like fake news. Don't listen to that. Just listen to like false news. It's being in news. Well,
listen to the good things. Don't focus on the negative.
That's something that came out like whenever he died, people tried to bring up all this bad stuff about him, and that made me mad because it was like, give the man some respect, you know, let him rest in peace and focus on all the good that he did in this world rather than try and bring down the man for his mistakes that he made. And I don't know, I'm glad we can focus on the good, you know?
Yeah. Well, thank you guys for joining this. Will, do you want to just close us out with what you want to say?
I ask one more thing. We go this when this podcast ready to end, but there's one more thing. That's live the life of this year and finish this year. So I'm gonna end this. Is the podcast is done.